What up, you beautiful bastards? This is RMG back at it again. And I kind of just wanted to get on the boatload of people who have been commenting about this game, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, that came out like what, maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I've been taking my time going through the game and playing it, capturing some of the footage and try not to rush really. Like, I know everybody had reviews and gameplay and all this and that, but I really wanted to take my time and go through the game levels, the details, of the game. And I'm happy to say, guys, that the next generation is now upon us. This game right here, regardless of, whether it may not be your cup of tea, has really up the ante on what it looks like to have next gen running on these consoles. And I couldn't be more happy about it. Like I said, I had a chance to play it, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to be another Digital Foundry type where I break down, the shadows and the lights. All I could do really is just show you why this game is so pretty, like, basically everybody else has. But I guess from my perspective, which is, yes, pretty much maybe everyone else's perspective, but there is one thing I will tell you. I was never a Ratchet and Clank fan. I never played the game. I'm one of those people who all the Ratchet and Clanks before passed through, and I did not even look sideways to see what was all the fuss. It just really was never my, I guess I was never intrigued by it. I just never really cared. And some of you might ask, well, then what changed now? Okay, so let me go into that for a second. I was intrigued. What intrigued me about the game, first of all, was the fact that, well, for one, it was on PS5. That was for one. For two, yes, I mean, the graphics had been upped. Completely. It looks phenomenal from what, the gameplay reveal had shown. So I was kind of interested in that, and I was like thinking, yeah, I really would like to check out this game. Now, I had my concerns going into it. Like, I was thinking, well, what if I don't like it, What if the gameplay sucks? What if it's just too repetitive, or just, I don't know. Like, I had all these concerns, and luckily, guys, I had, like I said, the opportunity to play it for about 3 or 4 days, and man, it did not disappoint. I wasn't expecting to like this game the way that I did. Very satisfied with this game. Like I said, I don't really know what my expectation was. All I know is that it was a pretty looking game, but as many of you know, sometimes, looks isn't everything. Yes, are we in the next generation of consoles? And, it's nice to see what these consoles can do. Absolutely. This is why I bought, a $500 console, is because Sony was advertising and making promises about a fast SSD, improved graphics, improved sound, and I wanted to really see if that was the case. And I can tell you, Ratchet and Clank has taken it to another level of fidelity as far as gameplay, as far as sound, and as far as graphics. So, with that being said, I mean, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. But the game is the story. Let's start with that. Um, One of the things that really will catch your attention if you're gonna play this game is the story. The characters are actually quite pleasing to see them act and to see them talk and interact with each other. It's not cheesy, and it's not you know how sometimes you see cartoons, or you see, like, mainly cartoons, maybe not movies, but you see mainly cartoons and they're just kind of like cheesy and kind of dumb, and like really there's no depth to the story. I feel like Ratchet and Clank storyline and the characters really took it to a level of, it's okay. Like, I'm kind of liking this. I'm kind of liking this character. I'm kind of liking that character. And it didn't feel empty. It didn't feel cheesy, or it didn't feel like rushed. It really felt like they put some emphasis on the story and some quality. The characters, everybody seemed to really flow and make you feel like intrigued to keep playing the game. I really like that. Another thing that stuck out to me is the sounds. I mean, I put my headset on, and it's 3D capable for the PS5, and I wasn't disappointed. You can feel when sounds are coming from the left, from the right. You can hear everything. I mean, it's what you would expect from a game that has this level of quality graphics. So the sound was there. It was definitely there, and it kept me intrigued the whole time. There was creaks and sounds, and you can hear, everything. You can hear everything at your surroundings. So that was really, really cool. Another thing is the controllers. When Ratchet is typing on a keyboard, because he does that several times in the game, you can actually feel that on the controller. I don't know if anybody else talked about that, but the haptics, when it comes to that, are phenomenal. You could hear it when he walks over like metal or wood, or just another type of, material on the floor. Really, really cool. The haptics were on point. As you can see from the screen, also is the animations everywhere. I was just like, let's check it out. Let's look at the animations. Let's look at TVs and the lighting and the reflections. Everything was so crisp, so shiny and glossy and reflective. The animations are pretty good. I don't want to say, they had like their own lives that you could see, but they were pretty good, enough to keep you captivated, enough to keep you interested. Then you had these dudes just chilling here, like, one big ass eyeball, and you got this other dude that looks like a lobster. And I remember this part from the gameplay. I just forgot it, so I hit the triangle, and that was cool. Like, you can interact with things like that. But overall, I guess I'm getting into the visuals, right? After the haptics. So let's talk about the visuals. Man, what can I say? From the animations to the textures to the reflections to the eyes to, just everything that Ratchet and Clank is showing here is truly impressive. And I know that the game isn't that long, but at 33 gigs, which is what this total game download is, for 33 gigs, not only could you see cracking out good work here, but you can also see that, man, they, you know, the people at the developers, they really took the time to like take advantage of all those 33 gigs that are compressed. Obviously, it'd probably be a little more, but what an impressive game. I mean, from a visual standpoint, it when you take the photo mode and you look closely at, her hair, like Rivet's, what's her name? Rivet, I think. I'm still like trying to get all the names down. I believe it's Rivet. You could see up close her fur. I mean, the hairs. You could see the reflection of her eyes. I mean, I know people have talked about this, but I just thought, let me see that for myself. And if you haven't played the game for yourself, then you really should, because it doesn't compare. Like, once you get to see it in your big screen and you're looking at these gorgeous graphics. I mean, another thing is just the blending of colors and, the halos and everything that this game visually had to offer, like from other YouTube videos. I was pretty convinced that it looked great, but man, does it look stunning once you actually play it. So I think, coming from a person that has never played Ratchet and Clank series before, I was truly impressed. Now, I will say, I do come from the PSP era where I did play Jak and Daxter. I think Jak and Daxter is always going to remain like, one of my ultimate favorite games on the PSP. That's where I played it. And that's because I have a softie for Jax. I think Daxter is the little dude. I think he was far funnier as a character to me. Not that these guys aren't, the new characters that you'll see in the gameplay, but man, he just has a little toot about him that just makes him that much more interesting as a character. So that is Daxter that I'm talking about. I would like to see, though, now that being said, I would like to see that actually come about. Maybe they could unite these two universes together. Maybe Ratchet and Clank and Jax and Daxter in a dimension. Now that we're switching dimensions and things like that, that would be super, super awesome. That's another thing that I wanted to touch on is just the traveling between dimensions, and how fast it does it. Seamless. I mean, seamless. No problem there. Just, it was phenomenal to see that because the technology behind it had never permitted a game to do that at a full-blown scale. Now, I know people in the past, they're saying like, yeah, you could see that in Titanfall. Okay, but not at that scale. So that was truly impressive. And like I said, for somebody who has never played Ratchet and Clank, I thought that was pretty impressive. And I tried to, capture different levels and different sequences and things like that because it was impressive, just the level of immersion, the level of detail that these different planets have. Because you jump on a ship and you go up and you visit another planet. So this was one of my favorite planets here. It's sort of like this desert, like old rusty city that used to live on a desert. Has these bunch of cool rails, and then you interact with this robot, and it's just like I said, guys, like you would not be able to see this on a PS4, like not at this level. I think they would have to make a lot of cuts. They would probably have to make a lot of downscales in order to make this work on the PS4 Pro. But it would take away from the creators and what they were trying to achieve. So to me, it's phenomenal. Like it really goes to show you, man, we're really in this next generation. We've been waiting so long for the next generation, and finally it's here. And I'm not saying that, Miles Morales didn't have it. I'm not saying that Demon Souls didn't have it. I'm just saying that at the level of this scale, I think this takes it up a notch even further. So that is really impressive. Sony has been able to deliver, Destruction All-Stars, Demon Souls, Ratchet and Clank, Miles Morales. There's so many games that they have been able to give us now on the console that I really want to say I really admire that, and I really truly appreciate that, because that's why I bought a console of the next generation. Okay, so yeah, do we get to play the older games, and is it nice to play some of the older games? I'm not saying that it's not. That's a cool thing to have, but it's not the reason why I bought a new console. I don't, it's like me saying I bought, a $2,600, desktop PC to be able to play ROM games or emulation games. I mean, that would be totally dumb, right? I mean, you guys would be like, what are you talking about? Why would you buy a $2,600 console, desktop, to just play emulation? Like, it doesn't really make sense. So it doesn't make sense for me to buy a console just to play games that were made 4 years ago, 8 years ago. I really don't care. That's a cherry on top. That's cool. I like that. But that's not the reason why I bought this console. So far, I've been very happy with the PlayStation 5 and the available games that we have had to play now. And that's very important. So, yeah, Ratchet and Clank has delivered on that, and it truly does look phenomenal. Anyway, guys, I think this is all I got for you on this one. Like I said, 2 thumbs up from somebody who has really never played a Ratchet and Clank series before. And if you have a PlayStation 5, well, I would highly recommend that you give this game a try. And let me know your thoughts on that game. Anyway, guys, like I said, this is all I got for you. Hit that like button. It helps out the algorithm, man. Really does. I'm trying to grow a little bit more each day on this channel. I haven't put out as much as I probably could, only because it's kind of hard with balancing the whole thing of life. But if you guys can show some love and throw in a like, and maybe even have this video shown to someone else, really would appreciate that. Anyway, that's all I got for now. This is RMG. You guys take it easy. Have a nice day.